I kind of wish I did the whole thing with this cool background, but oh well, you can't win them all. It's my first time ever talking on YouTube or editing a video or putting things together. I'm actually recording this after I did all of my snippets before. So I had no plan on this going in, so we shall see where everything lands. I'm kind of curious to see how it turns out. I'm about to edit the clips right now. I have no idea what I'm doing or how to do it, but we'll see. All right, here we go. I still can't believe that I'm sitting here doing this right now, that I'm recording myself and editing videos to potentially, or a video to put on YouTube. I had no idea that I would even be doing this tonight. I had so many things on my to-do list, like I do every single day, and my days are always packed. I'm a really anxious person. I try to get way more in every single day than is probably humanly possible, and my lists get backed up, and I just want to accomplish everything, and I accomplish nothing, it feels like, and I just keep going on this roundabout. But it's almost like I had a panic attack that you'll hear about very shortly. I had a panic attack to pave the way for me to do this tonight, because it's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and I've just been nervous about it and scared, and it's like the universe or something greater than me cleared the way for me to start this tonight. I have such a clear head, can't even tell you why. It's pretty bizarre, so I'm curious to see how this turns out. Okay, now we need to rewind back when I started not filming. My husband always gives me such a hard time for saying filming when there's no film. So recording my first snippet. I'm still sitting on the fact that I just said husband because I just got married a couple days ago. So it's pretty crazy right now. I'm actually having a panic attack, and many years before, when I started having panic attacks, I used to be like rolling around on the floor. I wouldn't be able to even be speaking right now. I would be so distracted in my head, in my body, that I just would not even be here on this planet. But through using psychedelics such as cannabis and psilocybin mushrooms, I've actually been able to kind of jump into my head a little bit more and know that things are going to come to an end eventually. And so by channeling that energy, I've been able to channel the same energy in my panic attacks and know that this is going to end, so I'm not as scared anymore, but I still feel the adrenaline running through my body. But what was pretty crazy was that I actually work from home, so I was trying to work and I kept going back to my phone or the computer over and over and over and over and over again. And I couldn't sit there. I could not sit there and focus for even 2 minutes at all. And so I kept trying, but it would almost be so painful to sit there and try to focus on the technology that I just eventually stopped trying. But I did try, at least 5 to 10 times over and over, and it wasn't working. And so something was bringing me back to my head. And then another thing I realized was that I just could not focus on an object. I even started to look at my ring, and I was trying to stare at it, and I could not stare at it for more than 3 to 5 seconds without me just falling into my own head again. And so after just these numerous attempts and different ways of trying to get back to the moment and to reality, I just thought, you know what? Something wants me to listen to it, obviously, if it keeps redirecting me back in my head. I mean, obviously it's happening for a reason, at least that's what I believe. I think that we get messages in very interesting ways sometimes, some ways that we don't even expect and we're not even conditioned to listen for or listen to. So I just got a notebook, and instead of fearing the feelings that were going through my body, all the adrenaline and my racing heart and my nausea and everything, I just thought, okay, something wants me to listen to it. So I'm gonna get a notebook and I'm gonna write down what it tells me. So I did, and some pretty interesting things came up. I wrote less to-do lists, more free-flowing days. So I basically asked the question at the top, what does this voice want me to know? And this is what I wrote. So the less to-do lists, more free-flowing days, more time without technology, more outdoors, minimize risk-taking, have more grounded fun. I think that one stems from me trying to tackle all of my fears in recent days and trying to overcome, knock down a lot of barriers. Another thing, focus on those close, nothing more, so no outside distractions of people and drama. Staying on top of personal care routine, more time with my husband now, not fiance, husband, we just got married, and my dog. More travels without plan or itinerary, less chasing, more gratefulness. Hear family more mindfulness. What that one I think stemmed from was my brother was trying to get my attention all day and I just was not here, and he could see that, and he actually asked me, he told me, Ashley, are you even here right now? No. See others, less distractions, more self-love, stop planning the future, live, handle things as they arise. Why forecast? Focus on short-term goals, less pressure, less rushing, more sex. More trust, no forcing, more love, less judging, less criticizing, less calling out, more patience, more understanding, more attention, less perfection, more real, in capital letters. I'm not totally sure what to make of this exercise, but it was pretty interesting considering almost every other panic attack that I've had, I've pretty much given into it and just surrendered and laid here and never really learned from it. But this one I actually tried to learn from, and I feel like I got a lot of good information. Again, I'm not sure exactly what to do with it, but thought I would try to share this, get it on paper, get it on camera. And so as a follow-up to my previous video that I just did, is there a greater purpose to a panic attack? Is there anything behind a panic attack? Is a panic attack a message from a greater spiritual force? Is it predetermined for a course correction? Are they meant for you to dive into your head? Are they not on accident? Are they intentional? Is there a driving force, a greater force behind panic attacks? Because I will just say the amount of times that I was trying to just distract myself, like many of us that have panic attacks, the amount of time that I was just trying to distract myself and I couldn't at all, just made me think if there was something greater beyond just physiology that drives it and that forces us into that state where we cannot do anything but sit inside our heads and listen to whatever comes our way, whether it be fear, emotions, situations, whatever. So I'm just wondering if there's something greater behind panic attacks in regards to the realm of spirituality. I don't know enough about it, but I'm really, really curious. I almost feel like I was just mindful for the first time during that panic attack, which is really pretty crazy and pretty bizarre, because with the amount of adrenaline that you have running through your body during a panic attack, it's very hard to be mindful. I don't think adrenaline is designed to react in your body that way. I think you're supposed to have that clear-headed, empty mind feeling because your fight or flight system is being kicked on, so it's only natural we would feel that way. I actually got a very similar feeling when I just went skydiving. It was almost like that super clear-headedness to where you can only see directly what's in front of you. So what was crazy is I had that distraction of not really being able to focus on a lot of different things, but I was able to kind of be super analytical at the same time and analyze my panic attack for the first time ever. Like I'm saying, I've had so many panic attacks before, and I'm literally just a useless ball in the corner that can't do anything, can't speak, just lays there and just it's crazy. It's crazy that I'm still feeling a bit of the depersonalization, derealization, that kind of foggy feeling in my head, but I'm still able to talk because I'm analyzing what's going on. And it feels right in a very weird way that I've never experienced. I would actually be curious to see if you guys tried this method. Now, again, I'm not recommending anybody do it. I'm not a doctor. Don't take my advice, all that shit. But if you have panic attacks and you try diving in your head for the first time instead of surrendering to the process, I think a lot of us know what I mean when I say that. I would be curious to hear what you found and what you wrote down and how that made you feel and just what came up for you. I'm kind of curious to see if more people have the same experience that I did. So if I end up posting this, not sure that I'm going to, I'm going to leave my email in the description or whatever you call it. Again, I've never done YouTube. I don't even really go on YouTube that much. So I'm not even sure how it works, but reach out to me. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. Just got out of the garage talking to my fiance about this experience, but I was just thinking, if psychedelics force you to be in your head, you don't have a choice, and so do panic attacks, then is there some correlation between psychedelic experiences and panic attacks? Because I've had both and they almost feel the same in a weird way, and there's so many different similarities, and I just wonder about that. I wonder if there's some similarities with something bigger, something greater, our sixth sense, if you will, consciousness, something bigger than us forcing us into these experiences almost outside of our will. You know, I know for me, I'm going to experiment with higher doses of psilocybin mushrooms coming up here pretty soon, probably within the next couple of months, and I'm just really curious to see how there's a correlation or see, you know, I just want to learn about this stuff. It's too weird. There's something much greater, and I don't think any of us know what it is, but I want to find out. I don't know how, but I want to find out, and I want to keep thinking about it. Another thing to note, I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel and learn how to talk to a camera and overcome these fears and insecurities for a really long time, but I've always let the insecurities and the fears win, and I just have never taken the jump. So another thing about panic attacks, I'm wondering, so this one set me off on something that I've been wanting to do for some time, and that's talking to this camera and putting myself out there. So are our panic attacks, again, a calling from a greater force, greater part of our consciousness? Are they callings to listen and to guide us in the direction of things that we're supposed to be doing? You know, guiding us on that path? You know, I wonder what would happen if more of us listened and took notes during these panic attacks instead of, you know, basically succumbing to them. You know, I know how hard it is to not just, you know, sit there and basically give into it and try to fight it and just be taken away, just swept away. I know how hard that is, but what if we somehow mustered up the courage to just listen to them and learn from them? Because I'm doing that for the first time, and it's unbelievable in this moment right now. Because if you think about it, when we're having panic attacks, we're typically, what's surfacing for us are things we're scared of, our fears, that, you know, problem we've been pushing aside, just everything that's been weighing on us that we're not dealing with. So what if it's a calling, a way to get our attention? You know, if we think of them that way, how different will they be for us? I mean, it's almost like we're almost grateful for them. We're not scared of them. It's like, thank you. Like today I feel so much gratefulness for my panic attack because it was a much needed course correction for me. I've been mindless for the past probably 2 to 3 days, just stuck in my head about a lot of worries and fears and insecurities, and it's like a kick in the ass in a good way. And I'm thankful. And before, I just thought I was a victim, a victim to panic attacks, and I couldn't change anything, and it was just my fate, and I just have to sit here. But I'm learning from them. It's amazing. And seriously, like right now, I feel high on weed. I'm not high on weed, but I feel high on weed. And it's the same feeling. Panic attacks, I'm learning, are the same feeling when I smoke. It's so weird. There has to be a connection. There has to be a connection. I seriously fucking feel high. Does anyone else feel high when they have panic attacks? I understand, the similarities between clear-headedness when you have adrenaline and also when you're high, but it just feels the same fucking way. It is just so crazy because I literally cannot read for the life of me. I can't look at a screen. I mean, except for obviously this, but I can't look at a screen, read an email. I can't read a text. I can't do anything that requires thought, but I can so easily speak my mind right now. I'm so clear-headed in that I can speak and articulate, but I can't focus. It's such a bizarre feeling because I've never tapped into this part of the panic attack. I've always just tapped into me not being able to focus, and then that was it, and I stopped there. But I can't focus, but I can speak and think and talk so clearly because I'm allowing myself to. It's crazy. It's something that feels, an energy that feels completely untapped. And I wouldn't be surprised if many other people haven't discovered this, because you don't think to do this in a panic attack. It's I don't know what it is. It's new. I have to just say that this lens that I have right now is unbelievable. Like, I've gotten so many lessons from this lens, similar to a psychedelic experience where you learn so many things about yourself, and your brain clicks in certain ways, and you have alignments that happen, that you can't really explain. And I just had one. Something just clicked in my head and told me to start small and not big. And I'm realizing for many, many years, probably my whole life, I've always just had the highest expectation and starting out big with everything. So that would be like, if I wanted to start doing a YouTube channel, instead of using my phone, I have to get all the top equipment, a nice background, nice lighting, get everything all set. Instead of just starting small and talking to a camera like this and just talking to my phone and seeing where it takes me. I just got this click today in my panic attack, and my panic attack led me to being introspective and to going inside my head and not being afraid of it, and then to get a lesson from that. So I guess the thing I keep going back to is our suffering is necessary. It's like, what if our panic attacks are just something greater, something bigger, pushing us in the direction that we need to be going? But we must make that conscious choice of listening to them and diving within them and having the courage to go inside us, or to confront a scary place that you're not used to confronting, because in the end, there's so much reward. I'm telling you, it's like this panic attack is forcing me to be in the moment. Very similar to a psychedelic drug, psychedelic compound. You get definitely more visuals and way more imagery with a psychedelic compound, but this is so similar in that it's forcing me to be in the moment. It's forcing everything else away, almost like a way or a message to say, you are going too fast, and slow the fuck down and pay attention to what's in front of you, because we don't do that enough. We don't put ourselves in the moment often and just take in what's in front of us. We're a lot of times thinking about the past, the future, mistakes, worries, what's going to happen, instead of just being in the moment. And it's like we do too much of that, and then all of a sudden a panic attack happens. They're gifts. I'm still in that loopy, weird, clear-headedness, that foggy space that always accompanies a panic attack. At this point, all of my body symptoms have gone away. So I've got a little bit of body tingling, but I don't have the nausea. I don't have the shortness of breath or anything like that anymore. I just have that foggy kind of after effect, if you will. But I just got off the phone and I had the most clear-headed conversation with my boss. And I've never been able to have that. I've steered away from it. I've never even channeled it or explored it. I've always just told myself I just had a panic attack and leave me alone, and I can't talk to anybody, go away, I'm scared. That's just the narrative I was telling myself for so many years. But now I've channeled into this clear-headedness, this forced mindfulness, the best way I could say it. I've channeled it and I've dove into it and tried to live life with it. And it's possible. And better, and way better of a state than I was in before, when I was mindless and doing 100 things at once and trying to just do everything under the sun all at once. And so interesting how anxiety could be a good thing. Panic attacks could be a good thing. They're messengers. I can't get over that. I feel like they're messengers. It's a messenger of some sort to consciousness, or what we really should be doing. I'm sure so much of this probably sounds, I don't want to use the word crazy, but just weird, jumbled. I'm finding it hard to articulate myself. I really wish I had better words to describe what I'm talking about, but this is the best way I know how to do it in this moment, and I'm going with that. But I'm sure in other videos, if I continue to do this, I'll expand upon this in probably a better way, a more articulate way. But I just had to give the disclaimer that if this sounds weird to you, it's sounding weird to me. It's almost like in this experience that started with a panic attack, but in this experience, I've given myself permission to start small, to not worry about the big things, to not plan 100 different pursuits of how I'm gonna do this, and this. Instead, just live in the moment and just do what's in front of me and put my best effort into that and mindfulness into that. It's like something clicked in my head and gave me permission to do that. In this panic attack that I just had a couple hours ago, by diving into my head and not being scared of it, to really inquire and ask what it wanted to tell me and teach me. And I'm so grateful. I've never been grateful for these things that I used to call just, death when you're alive. Panic attacks are awful for anybody that has them. They're just debilitating. You can't do anything. And I used to just hate them, but in this one, I just learned so much. It's pretty surreal. I cannot believe that it was a panic attack that literally drove me to make this video. That's crazy, because I've been wanting to do this for so long. And who would have thought that a panic attack would cause me to want to talk on video to myself? So just to wrap this up, thank you for watching. There was really no plan or organization with that. I just tried to organize everything and all my thoughts the best way I could. But I would love to hear from you. If you go through anything similar with panic attacks and spirituality and greater levels of consciousness, I would love to hear from you. Shoot me an email or send a comment, or I'm not totally sure how this works, but contact me somehow. And I look forward to hearing from you.